All right, here's some very good news. President Trump is implementing very serious immigration requirements now. This is as Fox News reports it. Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly moved today to implement a host of immigration enforcement changes ordered by President Trump, directing agency heads to hire thousands more officers and so-called catch-and-release policies and begin work on the president's promised U.S.-Mexico border wall. It is in the national interest of the United States to prevent criminals and criminal organizations from destabilizing border security, General Kelly wrote in one of two memos released Tuesday by the department. I know he's Secretary Kelly, but he was a general, and he earned that title. And I'll continue to use it. The memos follow up on Trump's related executive actions from January and, at their heart, aim to toughen enforcement by expanding the categories of illegal immigrants targeted for deportation. The changes would spare so-called dreamers. On a conference call with reporters, a DHS official stressed that the directives would not affect Obama-era protections for illegal immigrants who came to the United States as children, and others given a reprieve in 2014. But outside those exemptions, Kelly wrote that DHS no longer will exempt classes or categories of removable aliens from potential enforcement. Let me stop there. So basically, any serious enforcement compared to what Obama did is serious enforcement. But this really is a step back, in the sense that I know I'm not one of the pom-pom rocket types. I'm telling you that even a bigger problem than not saying you're going to deal with the dreamers, even at some future point, is the fact that what Obama did was blatantly unconstitutional by using an executive fiat to confer temporary legal status on millions of individuals. So what Donald Trump and General Kelly and what this administration is saying is that they're not going to address that. That's a big deal to me. It troubles me greatly. If you're going to run for president, this is going to be one of your main issues, then you ought to have at least some approach, something you're going to do about it. And there's absolutely nothing here. In fact, they're completely exempted. Now to the positive part. A DHS official said the agencies are going back to our traditional roots on enforcement. That's what you need to understand. What Obama did was radical. By not enforcing existing immigration law, what Obama did was radical. Now, they'll tell you they deported more criminals, they did this, they did that. The statistics do not stand up to their propaganda. Prioritizing criminal illegal aliens and others for deportation, including those convicted or charged with any criminal offense or who have abused any public welfare program. Expanding the 287G program, this is the community cooperation program, which allows participating local officers to act as immigration agents and had been rolled back under the Obama administration. This is one of the issues that came up in Arizona. Matter of fact. Starting the planning, design, and construction of a U.S.-Mexican border wall. Hear, hear. Hiring 10,000 immigration and customs enforcement agents and officers. ICE. Hear, hear. Hiring 5,000 more Border Patrol agents. Great. Ending catch-and-release policies under which illegal immigrants subject to deportation potentially are allowed to abscond and fail to appear at removal hearings, so they disappear within the United States. It's unclear what timeliness the Secretary is setting for some of these objectives and what budgetary and other constraints the Department and its myriad agencies will face. In pursuing an end to catch and release, one memo called for a plan with the Justice Department to surge immigration judges and asylum officers to handle additional cases. This is all moving in the correct direction. It's all moving in the right direction. I've said many times before, immigration law, tax law, whatever the law is, it ought to be enforced unless the laws officially changed by Congress and signed by the President. So that's part of what's in there. There's more when I come back, but clearly what also is not mentioned is no address, no dealing with Obama's unconstitutional fiat legalizing millions of dreamers. I'll be right back. All right. Now let us continue. Katie Pavlich over at Town Hall on what the Trump administration did today. Speaking from the White House briefing room, Press Secretary Sean Spicer announced the development of a new Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office focused on helping victims of crimes committed by illegal aliens. The office will also assist family members of victims and is part of President Trump's recent executive action to bolster enforcement of immigration laws already on the books. The office, Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement Office, will facilitate the engagement with victims and their families to ensure questions and concerns regarding immigration enforcement efforts are addressed, said Spicer. Earlier today, Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly detailed the new office in a memo to all relevant agencies inside DHS. Establishing the Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement, or VOICE office. Now, by the way, this is a really smart decision. It's smart as a substantive matter, but it's also smart because it takes a page out of the left wing's handbook. They create victims. These people are real victims here. And Kelly immediately ordered the director of ICE to reallocate, listen to this, to reallocate any and all resources that are currently used to advocate on behalf of illegal aliens to the new VOICE office, and to immediately terminate the provision of such outreach or advocacy services to illegal aliens. Let me repeat this. Kelly immediately ordered the director of ICE to reallocate any and all resources that are currently used to advocate on behalf of illegal aliens to the new VOICE office, and to immediately terminate the provision of such outreach or advocacy services to illegal aliens. How do you like that? And so far, Secretary Kelly, it's early yet, is demonstrating that he's an outstanding choice, is he not, General Kelly? So far, so good. He got a hell of a general there in charge of the DHS. I think that's crucially important. So a lot of progress in the right direction. The big issue, the dreamers, unaddressed. The unconstitutional fiat of Obama, unaddressed. Hopefully it will be addressed at some point, quite frankly. I certainly hope so. Let's go to Eric, Las Vegas, Nevada, our great affiliate there, the all-powerful KDWN, KDWN. Go!
Hey, Mark, it's an honor. Thank you.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
just real quick, I wanted your thoughts on, everybody knows the humor behind if you want free benefits, you just go to Mexico and then turn around and come back. My point is, what's to stop, let's take one individual. What's to stop a murderer, for example? You deport him, take him over the border, set him free.
All right, let's stop a minute. If somebody has murdered in this country, they go on trial in this country. What we're saying is people who have committed crimes and they've done their time, you don't just let them out on the street, you deport them.
Okay, but they're being deported back to Mexico, which I'm all for.
Right.
But the borders are wide open, so basically you're giving them a free pass rather than they're locked up now.
Well, first of all, you can't keep them in prison forever, depending on what their sentence is. If they have a 5-year sentence, you can't keep them in prison for 25 years. That's number one. Number two, you've got to let them loose somewhere. You don't let them loose in the United States. Number three, you send them back to where they came from. Now, in order to address that, you secure your border, which is exactly what I've been saying every minute I've been on radio, long before there was even a Trump candidacy. But that's the Trump position, and he's exactly right. There's nothing else you can do. What do you want to do? Send them off to Alcatraz?
Well, no, that's a good idea, but there's not enough room. But my point is that shouldn't he focus on the wall first before we're releasing all these people back into Mexico? And I stress the word
You're not
release.
following me. People do a term. They do a sentence. And then they get out. You can't say, I got to finish the wall first. Can you think of a single judge that will agree to that?
No, you have a valid point.
So you got to try and do all these things at once. Or do them, seriatim. Just do them. All right, my friend, thank you for your call. Let's continue, shall we? Yes, we can. Mary, Santa Cruz, California, the Mark Levin app. Go.
Hi, Mr. Levin. Are you aware that under Obama's guidelines for dreamers that they are allowed to have not one but 2 misdemeanor convictions? And I think a reasonable person understands that a misdemeanor conviction is actually a felony that's been pled down.
Well, a lot of people don't know that. It's not in every case, but you're right. Misdemeanors can indeed be felonies that are pled down to misdemeanors. But I think Obama was projecting. Remember all those stories he wrote about all the time he was using pot illegally? Remember that?
No.
In Hawaii? Oh, you didn't read either of his autobiographies, did you? How dare
Why
you?
would I spend money on that?
I don't know. Thanks for your call. It's called sarcasm.
Mark Levin.